How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Bulls to the Wall Trading, a channel created for the sole reason for me to share my experiences in the stock market. I share my tips, my experiences, I answer any of your questions. I share my watch lists, I share my daily recaps. I talk over about how the stocks that I had picked out, how they played out, what I liked, what I didn't like. But most importantly, I'm here for you guys to answer any questions that you may have and guide you through this whole stock market process. I am a momentum trader. That means I trade pre-market highs or previous day highs. So if this is something that you are interested in doing, I believe you came to the right place. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a financial planner. Anything that I talk about, any stocks that I give out, is just my opinion. Please do your own research. And another thing that I always say in my videos is that I am not being paid to use any product. I am not being paid by any company to use their software. I am independently doing this just to help people out and to share my knowledge. With that being said, this is going to be my watch list for Friday, September 29th, 2017. So let's get right to it. And as always, I'm using TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. This is the one that I use for my charting, and to execute my trades, I use Stock Trade. I made a video earlier today about that broker. Please go check it out if you haven't done so already. So let's start with ARLZ. This is one that I'm going to keep an eye on because it reached highs of 235. Let me change this to 1 day, 1 minute. It reached highs of 235 today, and then it kind of came crashing down. So I'm going to keep this one in watch, and I'm going to draw my line, my resistance line or my trend line at the 235 mark. It looks like I had previously drawn a line here. That's not relevant anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. The reason I have it as a watch or keep an eye on is because it has a big gap to fill from 213 to 235, so it has a lot of ground to cover, so that's why I'm keeping it on my keep an eye watch list. Next one is AMMA. Same thing with this one. It spiked up. Oh, this one had a pretty good day. This one had a really good day. This one spiked up to highs of $3.07 before $3.07, and then after that it just kind of fizzled out, and it's now at around 240-ish. So I'm going to draw my resistance line at 307, and again it has a big gap to fill, so that's why I'm keeping it on my keep an eye watch list. And again, as always, we want to see how this performs in the pre-market and how it does at the bell, at the open, which is at 9:30. So now we're going to go into the ones that really got my attention. Before I get into that one, I just want you guys to look at the volume on this one, AMMA 9 million, which is a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I kept it on there, because it traded a lot today, so that might continue into tomorrow. So we'll see how that plays out. MEET is one that I have for my daily plays. Let's take a look at this chart. The chart doesn't really look all that great. It only traded a little bit more than 1 million times, but it reached highs of 372 right before the market closed. I'm not a fan of this chart because, as you can tell, there is no uptrend. It's just kind of consolidating sideways, but I do like the fact that it reached highs of 372 right before the market closed. So I'm just going to pay attention to this one. but the chart is not the best looking chart, but I will keep this one around just in case. AEMD, I believe I had this one on my watch list today, meaning that I was looking at it this morning. Yeah, I had this one on this morning. At the open, it didn't do anything, but when it broke through, it went from 147 to 169-ish. So if you're following my videos and you're able to trade all day or keep track of this all day, this one would have been a perfect one for you. Like I say, I always trade till about 10 o'clock, but if you were able to hang around and wait for the move on this one, you would have made a pretty good profit. So for this one, I'm going to keep watching it. It made highs of 176 after the market closed, so I'm going to put my line there, and I'm going to delete the old line. So we will watch this one tomorrow and see how it plays out. But again, I called this one out last night for this morning, and again at 10 o'clock it didn't do anything, but it did have that move in the late afternoon. So hopefully, if you guys are following my videos, you were able to get in on that action. Next one, ARWR. I believe I also had this one on my watch list this morning. Let me check. Yep, I had this one, and this one didn't really see much action this morning in the in the pre-market, but it still broke through. So there was a lot of money to be made on this one. It reached highs of 434 before it started consolidating. It tried to come back up at around 3, but it couldn't go back up to the 434 mark. So I am going to draw my line right there at the 434 mark and hope tomorrow that it can do the same movement that it did this morning. That would be huge if we can get that kind of movement again. So we're going to watch this one tomorrow. Cat B is a new one on my watch list. This one had a very good day. You can see the uptrend, and let me draw it out for you if you can't see it. So just follow this white line, and you could tell that the line is steady going upwards. So that's an uptrend, and that's something that you want to see. You want to see consistent gains going up. So this one made consistent gains all day, and it reached a high of 226 in the post market. It has 4.5 million for the volume, which is pretty good. For that reason, I'm going to keep watching this one tomorrow. MNKD, this one was another one that had a pretty good day. Out of nowhere, it shot up. Look at these gains from 192 to 224, huge. And this one I had drawn a line here a while back. Let's see if I can find where it is and why I drew it. Let's do a 10-day. Let's see. Let's do 10-day, 5 minutes. Okay, so I drew this line. Man, this one goes way back. I drew this line at around the 230 mark, and maybe I should change it to the 231, and that's what I'll do. To 231. Because it reached that high on, when was this? September 18th. And it's never been able to go back up to that line. But as you can tell, it curved up today. So instead of drawing my line right here, which would be what I normally do, I would much rather have this stock cross above the 231 line. And that would be my entry point for this one. So instead of drawing my line here, I'm going to keep it there at 231. Let me just go back in a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be my goal for this one, for it to break above. So it doesn't have that much room to fill, just a couple cents. but if I feel that if it could break above that, this one could be a good one because it hasn't gone above the 231 mark, or it hasn't been close to 231 for about 10 days or so. 6 million on the volume, which is pretty good. So I'll be keeping this one on my watch list. And E is another one that I had for my watch list on my video I made last night for my watch list today. So let's see how it did. So it broke above, could have made about 3 cents a share. It got to highs of 474. It was never able to go back up to 474. It actually touched 474 right here, but it was never able to get past it, and it fizzled out. So this one has 11 million as a volume, which is very good. So I'm going to delete these other lines that I drew, and I'm going to keep the most recent one and the most current one and the most relevant one, which is the 474 one. It has a lot of room to make up, about 20 cents. So I'm actually going to put this one on my keep an eye watch list, and I'm going to delete it from here because it has so much room to make up that I don't want to focus too much of my time on it. And the last one that I have is FMSA. This one, let's see, this one started off high, dropped, went up, dropped, went up, and ended up the day on a high note. But if you can tell, there's a big resistance right here, right around here. Let me draw that for you guys. So you guys should be able to see that this is a resistance right here. It goes up, it almost touched it right there, went down, tried to come back up, no, try to come back up, try to come back up, and it's right there, almost at that 491 mark. So I am going to keep an eye on this one. I want it to break 491. I might just wait for it to go past $5, because remember, every whole dollar amount is a huge resistance line or resistance point. So you really have two entry points on this one. You can either buy in at 491, the break above 591, or you could wait for the break above 5. I will have to see how this one plays out in the morning to decide what I'm gonna do. But of course, this all depends on how it moves in the pre-market before I do anything. And as always, all these stocks, it depends on the volume and how the MACD and RSI look. That's about it for this video, for this watch list. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment. If you don't understand how to use Thinkorswim or what you're looking at, how to read candlesticks, how to make a watch list, how to make a scan, how to read level 2, the news, time and sales, how to add moving averages, how to change the time frames, anything that you guys feel is overwhelming for you, just please leave me a comment, and I will be glad to clarify anything that I can do for you guys. Please like and subscribe. Please share the word. Leave me any comments, and hope you guys have an amazing trading day tomorrow, and be on the lookout for my videos tomorrow. Thanks everybody, have a good one.